yet another one of my hats. I'm having so much fun wearing my hats, and a lot of you guys seem to like them too, because how does it get any better than that? So we are going to keep talking about the art of self-love, and we're going to talk about this thing that we've talked about before, and it's called your voice. Remember in The Little Mermaid, when the Little Mermaid, she wanted to have legs, and so she went to Ursula, and Ursula said, it won't cost you much, just your voice. And then she had to find other ways to communicate. So let's talk about this lovely instrument called your voice, because your voice can be used for many things, and you are listening when your voice is talking subconsciously, consciously, underneath it all, you are listening, and your voice is used for programming. So, do you want to use it against you, or do you want to use it for you? Which one? Against you or for you? Well, you know, I've used my voice against me a lot, and I use it for me a lot more because it's this big, beautiful projection piece. I was in Las Vegas last week, and we went to this amphitheater, and if you stood where all the lines came together, then when I spoke, my voice projected out to the mountains. And wow, this is really cool. And when you're talking with this thing called your voice, it's not just using it loudly and softly. It's not using it high and low and low. Not just using it that way, using it in all kinds of ways, because you're listening when you use your voice, and your voice is your way of saying what you want. Think about a little kid. Think about a baby. Before a baby has words, a baby is crying to communicate that somehow its needs are not being met. And a little kid uses that powerful word called no, and they use that powerful word no really loudly, so you know they mean business, right? And so how can you use your voice to know you mean business? Because if all the world cares about, if everyone in the world cares about upping their self-esteem and upping their level of self-confidence and stepping into their power and standing in their power and saying what they want and declaring to the world who they are and what they stand for, how do you think it would be able to do it? If I just sit here and I talk like this because I don't want to make a big ripple in the pond, I want to make a teeny tiny little ripple, and I really want to have a lot more self-assurance, and I'm a little scared because I don't know how. And so then we say, I invite you to speak with a little more intention. But I'm not really sure how to speak with more intention because you don't understand the things that have happened to me in my life. Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Some of them have been my own history, and some of them have been the history of many of the clients I've worked with. And even if we don't have all the same experiences, we have enough commonality to build a bridge of understanding, a bridge of compassion, a bridge of knowledge. So when you're using this thing called your voice, and it's really tough at first to go from this kind of voice right here to the big, booming, powerful voice, it's too big a step all at once. So maybe when you're talking, you can put your hands on your hips like this, and you can talk and look straight at the camera, look straight in the eye, and you can say, yes, this is my voice, and this is what I want for myself. There's a little difference. The voice sounds the same, however, the body posture is different, isn't it? Because this is what it is when we are talking to ourselves, when we're talking about ourselves, when we're talking to other people and communicating who we are. We're communicating who we are, what we stand for, what we believe in, and most importantly, what we believe about ourselves. And so the time has come when now would be a good time for you to be the leader in your life. When now would be a good time to practice more love and self-compassion about you in your life. When now would be a good time to all the people that say crap about you and give a flippin' fascination about what you think or what you say. And I know it can be tough. Oh my goodness, I know it can be tough. I know it can be really rough. I know it can, because believe me, I've been there, and I've worked with a lot of people through that. At the end of the day, it's your voice, your life, your love of yourself, your understanding that loving yourself is not egoic. It is what needs to happen in order to create a dynamic life, in order to create a unique life, in order to create the life that is yours and you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, is wearing your red hat or your no hat, shaving your head, dyeing your hair, letting it go gray. Whatever it is that you are going to do, you've got this tool in your arsenal. That's right, I said arsenal, which is your voice. And even if you talk like this, and even if you talk like this, remember the book Horton Hears a Who, when all the Who's in Whoville had to shout, and it still wasn't enough for everyone to hear that there really were these people that were living in this, what was it, a little flower, that there were these people that were living there. And it wasn't until the tiniest little who with the tiniest little voice raised herself up to the highest of chairs and that she shouted that it went over the top. And so even if your voice sounds like this, you can stand in your power. And then maybe your voice gets a little deeper. Practice this. My friend Stephen Memel, I think I've mentioned this before, he taught us all an exercise called Over the Top. And so when you are playing this game with your voice, be over the top, like Jim Carrey as an actor, like Cary Grant as an actor, even Bob Hope as an actor. They all went over the top. And so practice this as you're sitting there in front of a camera, just like this, because hey, you get some pretty good self-esteem when you can look at yourself in a camera and you can just watch what's going on in a camera. You get to feel a lot better about yourself. So, even though I don't have a really powerful voice yet, I'm working on it. Even though I don't have a really powerful voice yet, I'm working on it. Even though my voice is getting a little bit powerful all the time, I am working on it. Do you see how this goes? You have fun with it. You be over the top about it. And I know a lot of you will say, that woman, she's just crazy. Let me tell you the differences that have happened in my own life. I've traveled the world with things like this. I've lived in 6 different countries. Clients that I've had have done amazing things, put themselves into a salary that they never ever before could have imagined that they could ever have aspired to have earned. They have, moved to a foreign country. They have found new friends. They have found their mates. They have dropped all the extra weight and kept it off. Some of them, you name it, they've done it. Some of the big ones are, overcoming childhood trauma, childhood abuse, sexual, physical. I can't tell you how many of my clients remember times that one of their parents tried to kill them in a moment. And this is what happens when you find your voice. Is this voice that belongs to you is the voice that stops blaming. It's the voice that stops shaming. It's the voice that's learning to no longer to be guilt-ridden, to worry, to be ashamed of anything that has ever happened in her life, in his life, in your life. Because you are not responsible for all that crap that other people did to you and other people said to you and all those things that they made you believe. This is your voice. This is your voice, and your voice is your tone. And your tone says, you know what? I can make it rain if I want to. You are more powerful than you could ever imagine. You are more fabulous. You are more beautiful, and you can create. You're a money magnet. You're a babe magnet. You are a guy magnet. Yes, he is into you, as a matter of fact. And here's why: because he sees that confidence walking down the street. He sees that woman, that man. She sees that man. He, she, it, whatever. They see that person and they go, wow. I just feel the energy vibe coming off of that person, and I would like to get to know them a little bit better. And that's what it is with you. That's who you are. Is you're someone. You don't try to fit yourself anymore to what somebody else wants or thinks you should be. You get to decide. You get to decide. Who gets to decide? You get to decide. And how do you do this? With your voice. And so, hey, maybe you don't have a voice because maybe something's up with the vocal cords, or you have laryngitis or something like that. You know what? Your voice speaks in many different ways. Only 7% of communication comes out of this mouth. Comes out of your mouth. Only 7%. So everything else is about who you are. It's about celebrating who you are. It's about saying who you are. It's about stating your intention. And it's about going for what you want. It's about going. It's about daring to dream and daring to believe that you can have a dream. How many movies and books and magazine articles and stories are there about people who dared to dream? And maybe sometimes they didn't make it all the way, but man, they sure got a long way. Use your voice, set your intention, let other people know who you are and what you stand for. And this fabulous thing happens with this self-love and using your voice. It's more self-confidence, it's more compassion, self-compassion, and compassion for others. That's the magic of how it works. It's compassion for yourself and compassion for others. And that's what changes things. That is what changes. So the voice can be a rant, and the voice can be a positive rant, and it could be standing against something. However, it's a lot more powerful when it's standing for something. When you're standing for something, you know what? I don't care what this particular person is doing. All the rest of us standing over here, you know what? We don't believe in that crap. We don't believe in that crap. We all are going to make this happen. So on the heels of Harvey, Hurricane Harvey, where we saw all of those people doing all of those amazing, outstanding things, saving dogs and cats and people and pregnant people and babies and everybody. I saw one where they were leading horses out to safety, all kinds of things where people really rose up. And you know what? That's what we can do too, because here we are. I'm in the Carolinas, and there's all this talk about Hurricane Irma, and some people are actually vacating and moving now, and we get another opportunity to help one another out, to stand for, you know what? Some kind of disaster doesn't take us out. This is where we shine. This is where you shine. And that's using your voice. That's the art of self-love, is stepping up. I went backwards because we're stepping up and into our power, and you can do it. Yes, you can do it. So, I'm Lisa Grundon. I'd really like to know what you think about these videos, what you'd like to know more of, because all of these are examples of self-love, self-esteem, using the voice, and I use that over-the-top exercise all the time to make these things happen, because you wouldn't believe how doing this exercise in front of a mirror, in front of a camera, in front of your dog, your cat, stuffed animal, whatever it is, and put on something that makes you feel really good. Get a hat. Show me your hats. Get a hat and show me your hats, because these hats are fabulous. And so, until tomorrow, shine, baby, shine. Use that voice, because you are flippin' fabulous. See you next time. Bye-bye.